work the way I wanted it to. It was supposed to like show us, but oh well. I love
Like
that song.
that would sound every time I hear that song, I'm like playing my own like video in my head, like you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
the
one of my
star in the
favorites.
video of the song or
Well, of
whatever.
course. Yeah.
Music video. That's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of.
Yeah, that's fun.
I've been into the Deftones lately too. They've been like just rolling around.
That's like my weird meditative music. Like, especially like when I travel and I have to drive along, like, I'll just put one of their albums on and just rage. like, 2 hour
Mhm.
drive, and you got like a whole two albums there. But yeah, I love the
Yeah.
Deftones. Been into them for years.
Great video though. The videos are cool. I loved it.
Yeah.
It looks cool.
So this is a follow up for the fans, a follow up on the haunting of Jackie Hernandez. This one, we'll talk a little bit about that haunting, and then we're just going to get into some fun fan emails about, like, they had questions about hauntings, and then our own personal experiences. But first, Gemini must do a toast.
Oh,
Poor
let's
HG doesn't have his, but
clink,
you'll get it soon.
clink.
Yep, clink. Yeah.
It's coming. Rural Arizona, the delivery system's weird. It's fine.
So I
Yay.
also
They look so cool,
also
dude.
have there's several of them in the shop. I'm gonna put the link down below in a minute, but there's several of them. These are double lined, nice thick plastic straw, hand wash only, but they're amazing. And I'm really sad. The mailman, I don't know if he ever watches. He sometimes says he does, but I'm pretty sure he broke my mug. So
Way to call him out.
I
I
know. So if you were watching,
love
good
that.
for you, man. Yeah, so you guys can get these in all kinds of different colors. So yeah, fun products. Let me put the link up. But yeah. Anyway,
Yes, thank you, Anne. I love my cup.
I can't wait for HG's is very different. You have your own. I designed your own skeleton for you. Like it's not this
Oh,
one. So it's your own
Yay.
version of that skeleton. So
Oh, no, I'm really
yeah,
that's
excited.
it's kind of cool.
special.
Yeah, and
How
Gemini
cool.
is she liked that on something else I had it on. I don't remember. I had it on something. I think I had it on
A
a
cutting
cutting board.
board.
Or, yeah,
Yeah.
and she wanted that on her mug. So yours is one of a kind as well.
Oh,
So there we go at the bottom.
Ooh.
Unexplainedrealms.com/shop. You see some products on the YouTube, like when you're watching, you might see some tagged, but the majority of the products are at unexplainedrealms.com/shop. There's a ton of stuff. I tried to do some fun kitchen stuff too, like kitchen towels and cutting boards and
mm,
kind of cool stuff. But
yeah.
anyway,
And what's
um,
cool is the cutting board is glass, right?
yeah,
Which,
Oh, that's
with
cool.
it's just healthier that way.
I think so too. But yeah, I was like, told my husband we're going to incorporate unexplained realm stuff all through our house. He's like, hell yeah. So we'll get the cutting board. I'm working on another company, a knife set. So it'll be kind of cool. We'll have our
Oh,
logos
Ooh,
on it.
cool.
Yeah, it'll be
Really?
kind of cool. So
Oh, that'd
working
be
on,
cool. Big old butcher
yeah,
knife with unexplained realms.
chopping your vegetables and your meal prepping with an unexplained realms knife.
Right.
Since the show colors are purple, most likely it'll be purple. But we're working on a design. Maybe the head or where the knives get put into, it's a skull. So then they look like they're coming out. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
mm,
yeah.
Bitchin'.
So hopefully that'll work out later this summer. Anyway, so um, let's talk about Jackie Hernandez. Did you guys catch that one?
I caught that one, and then
Did.
I looked for the other
Documentary.
documentaries with the people. It's
Mhm.
bizarre, man, how that really happened. At first, you're like, is she just trying to get attention, and she may have, but there's actual videos of the shit that was happening
Mhm.
too.
So, quick summary for anybody. hasn't watched it, go back and watch it. But anyway, she had a 2-year-old and a husband. Her and her husband having trouble, so they split. And then she moves out into a place in the San Pedro area. I think that's Southern California, at close to LA and all that. Um, and she starts seeing weird things happening in this house. So she calls this paranormal investigator. And for those of you that are super into paranormal stuff, you should know who Dr. Barry Taft is. World renowned parapsychologist, all that kind of stuff. He stepped in with his team and they did witness some strange things. It was very heavily documented. At one point, she moves like 300 miles away, another house, and everything's quiet until one day she's asked some neighbors to help her move a TV into the storage shed, and they see an image of one of the ghosts that she'd seen at the other house. So it's happening again. Again, the investigators come in. Um, one of them was almost hung. Another one was thrown. Like a lot of weird things. Um, Once they figured out who the ghosts were, it all stopped. They figured out their names. It all stopped.
Hmm. Hmm. Didn't they have photographic
Mm-hmm.
evidence
Mm-hmm.
too?
The, ac-
A
the
lot,
accidental
right?
hanging of Jeff Wheatcraft. He survived that, by the way, and they actually had like the guy that saved him tossed his camera, like, "Oh my god," to go help him, and the camera snapped a picture of him hanging. So I'll have to find that later in the show.
Yeah, and one thing like before like one thing that kind of gets in my goat too though, and like when people are experiencing paranormal phenomena, like
Mhm.
a lot of people don't know who to call and they don't think that like Ghostbusters are a real thing, so they call their religious um people, and
Or
they
they're
almost
weird.
get nowhere with these, preachers and stuff. She had called one in, and the father actually came to her house and was just basically like, "No, sorry, can't help you."
Mhm.
She had a 2-year-old and she was pregnant.
Yeah, she was pregnant.
That
Hmm.
pisses me off more
Yeah.
times than
So I don't think that they fully believe, that this is what's happening. I don't know. So here is the photo of. I think his name is Jeff Wheatcraft. So the camera, the other guy, one of the other guys, he threw the camera on the ground, like, oh no, to go help him. And as the camera hits the ground, it snaps that picture. So yeah, crazy. So there's a lot of photographic evidence for a lot of what happened in this case. So and she has actual documentaries you can find on YouTube.
yeah. That's what was interesting, and that's like the case that like changed those people's lives. Like they have a whole different view on um paranormal stuff, and I guess too like they checked it a lot of it to um the one of the people that was haunting them was like a sailor from the 1930s,
Mm-hmm.
and he really honed in on what was the main guy's investigator's name? Did you say Dr. Barry?
Barry Taft, yeah.
He thought that Barry looked like his killer, so that's why he really honed in on fucking with him during these
Mm-hmm.
investigations. Like there's like they were talking about in the interview, like they were being thrown around, they were being pushed. Like that picture shows, they were in the attic trying to gather evidence, and they had already like cleaned up like the floor, so it's not like that they could have like kind of really tripped on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lights went out, and then that's when that hanger thing wrapped around his neck. Like, could you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, insane. And the fact that the camera picked the picture up, I almost feel like there was some kind of divine intervention there to just get that exact photo. It's strange.
Mm,
Something
yeah.
like,
Do you think her being pregnant had anything to do with her it being like
I
attracted to
don't
her?
know.
to the
Yes,
because
because
it followed
in the
her, right?
documentary that I watched, when they were doing during the different investigations, they pulled out the Ouija board and they were asking questions. Oh, that was so crazy. One of the things was like the ghost. He said that he could only stay until the sunrise. Like once the sun came up, he had to go. But he also said in the Ouija seance that he was stuck around because of the baby. He didn't want Barry to hurt the baby because he thought
Uh,
Barry was his murderer.
Right. And the
oh,
murderer was like, okay, the murderer supposedly is the one that built the San Pedro house.
Oh
So
yeah, or that he was had
he
lived
built
there.
it and lived in it in the 1930s or something. And so the seaman that was killed in the San Pedro harbor by this man, I guess in a sense he was haunting that house because he was haunting that individual. But that person had died too. And he was, I guess his energy was there too. So did you see anything about that in the documentary, Gemini?
The
The
um
murderer?
uh I don't know. I was also cleaning, so
Oh yeah,
and I don't know.
I briefly listened to some of it, but yeah, the murderer. Both spirits were present during this haunting, these hauntings.
Yeah, I do know that too. So who was the other
mm,
haunt?
So the man that killed the young man in the harbor, so the seaman, what I don't know if he was like a what was he, Coast Guard or it was something military, I don't remember. And
Maybe
he
I think.
yeah, he was killed in the San Pedro harbor by the man that built her San Pedro house and lived there.
Oh, so they both were there.
Hmm. So those are the two ghosts.
Oh,
So it's very strange how that,
mm,
like, the young man obviously came back to haunt the old man, but then the old man had passed, and so both spirits stayed in that home. But why, when she left that home, did they follow her? I always wondered if she was like a bit of a psychic or a
I think
medium.
so.
Hmm.
Because even in the
mhm,
documentary, she would talk a lot about her feelings, like, "Oh, well, I felt this, and I felt that, and I
Hmm.
felt this and that." So I think that she was really like that,
Yeah, like she
whether
was.
she knew it or not. And then she was pregnant, and then she was like dealing with a toxic relationship. So I think that also helped increase the poltergeist activity. Well, that's what Dr. Barry said, but
I agree.
I'll
And so
agree.
that's, yeah, Dr. Barry Taft believed firmly that she had a poltergeist. Well, I suppose that's a possibility. Maybe there was, like I said in the actual show, there was a melting pot of spirits there or energy. I mean, maybe there was spirits and then there was poltergeist. And I just don't think the whole thing was just a poltergeist.
Right.
I feel
It
like
was
there
like a
was
mixture.
maybe the spirits because they were so angry. I mean, think about it. You got murdered by some guy, you're pissed off, right? And then the murderer, we don't really know what his motives were. It was so long ago, but he's obviously got anger too. So maybe the two of them, their anger and being spirits opened like a door for other entities and
And for
poltergeists.
people who don't know, a poltergeist is kind of just like a culmination of your energy. Like living people can create poltergeists. Like say I'm so angry and I'm depressed and I'm in this toxic relationship, all that energy kind of culminates into its own entity basically. And then you start having doors slam shut on their own and things disappear, hint hint,
Mhm.
shit like
Yeah,
that.
maybe I have a poltergeist. like
You
I
might.
told you guys off camera, like I told you off camera, I had bought my own
mhm.
wonderful Unexplained Realm shirt, had it all laid out. I was going to put it on earlier. No, it's gone. Can't find it. Tore the house up, screaming, yelling, everybody like, "Who stole my goddamn shirt?" No,
And
can't
I
find it.
wonder where these things go because I've heard other stories like things disappear and then they reappear, but it's like, okay, where are they at as they're disappeared? You know, what realm are they chilling in?
I used to have a bag. I have like a billion
Uh,
tarot cards, right? Like I have hundreds. So I store them in different places. And I had one really cool, funky bag I bought in Tahoe, and I stashed a bunch of my tarot cards in there. And a friend came over and she's like, "Oh, I want a reading." So I went to look for the bag. We tore the entire house up. My
Oh
husband
my
and
gosh.
my friend was with us. We're going through
Mm,
every freaking. Now
wow.
this is not a small bag. It's like a big, like over your shoulder, big, almost like the size of a laptop bag kind of thing. And I'm like, couldn't find it. About a month later, I was in the towel closet. I pulled it. My teenagers, man, he doesn't fold or stack the towels. He just shoves them in there. So somebody else opens the door and everything falls on you, right? And right behind the towels where they'd fallen on me, there was the bag.
Oh my gosh.
It was very strange. Like it would move. So maybe
Mm.
I have a poltergeist. Who knows?
Or a troll or a gnome that's hiding
Very.
your stuff. Maybe you should leave out a shot of whiskey and
I'm tempted.
see if
Mm.
your
Maybe.
T-shirt shows back up.
My husband's in here. He said we don't
What do you
waste
say?
whiskey. We don't
It's
waste
like
it.
you can have
Smart
one
man.
thimble.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's just a tiny bit.
That stuff's expensive.
It
No,
doesn't take
okay.
much.
Speaking of whiskey, though, we tried. Uh, I don't know if they'll get mad, but the product is the name is called Screwball. It's the brand. They have a peanut butter whiskey, and we tried it. It tastes with like Pepsi or Diet Pepsi. It tastes like you're drinking Reese's peanut butter cups. It's
Oh
crazy.
wow.
I was like,
That's
yeah,
good
I'm
to
not
know.
drinking any more of this because
Mm.
I will get drunk really quick. It's really good. It's tasty
Yeah,
and it's
that's,
smooth, and you're sipping it on ice. You're like, wow, this tastes like chocolate Reese's peanut butter cup. Yeah, that's dangerous. But anyway, that's
I'm
good
gonna have
stuff.
to try that. That
Yep.
sounds good.
Yep. Anyway, as we digress, so as far as the Jackie Hernandez thing, that was very
Oh.
strange. I guess I think that she was really truly. I wonder if she's had any other experiences after that.
Mm.
I wonder that
Mm,
too. Especially after the kids are older and what the kids may remember, if
mm.
anything.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to know if they remember because they were very little at the time. So interesting.
Yeah.
So real
And it
quick,
was interesting to, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
I thought it was interesting when they were doing the Ouija seance that the entity literally said, like, once the sun rises, like, I'm out of here. What do you
Mm,
think that's about?
I don't know. That's kind of strange. What do you think, HG?
There is something about the vibe of night, like
Mm,
the um, the vibrations at night are different. When the sun is not out, when the moon is out, the I think it has to do with maybe the not so much the light itself, but the harmonics of the
Mm,
earth, maybe
mm,
that um, makes it makes them able to manifest or interact that
right.
way. Whereas during the day, like when it's hot here, like there's very little paranormal stuff that happens in Arizona
mm.
when
Right.
it's summer. I mean, it does, I guess, in the middle of the night if sometimes, but personally, I haven't had that experience as much as like November, October, and that's typical everywhere. Like from November to December, that's where the veil is thin, and but I don't know. It just I feel like the sun brings out life,
And the things that we can
and
see,
if
the
there's a
consciousness.
Mm,
Whereas the night is like
yeah,
subconscious,
it's
like with the moon. It's like those are like behind the veil,
right. Mm,
yeah.
which ties into your energy being like that's just what rules that time where they can come through better, I guess.
So we're gonna because there's several fan stories. They're quick, but there's a few fan questions. So I thought let's interrupt our discussion briefly, and we're going to hear about the man
yeah,
in the
I
stairwell,
like this part.
submitted by Erica B from Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you, Erica, for watching and submitting the story. All right, you guys ready? I used to live in a 1920s apartment building with a creaky old staircase. Every night around 3 a.m., I'd hear heavy boot steps going up to the third floor. I lived alone on the second. One night I waited by the stairs. The boots stomped past me, but no one was in them. I moved out a week later when I woke up to find muddy boot prints leading from the stairs to my bedroom.
Oh, shut up.
I can't even like when I read it, I was like, oh man, people are gonna be like, I call bullshit, but I don't know. Like, I don't. I I think it would be really crazy to see something like that and then have everybody like, you're crazy. Like, so I chose to believe you, Erica. We believe you. She saw some boots.
I believe it. Like,
Mhm.
especially like after seeing the Jasmine Hernandez documentary and like even other documentaries by Lorraine and Ed Warren, like
Mhm.
how real these things get.
Mhm.
And I mean, they really need to share her bedroom.
Yep.
So that means it saw her
Mm.
in the stairwell or like knows that knows that it exists or that's creepy.
So, a couple of things in my thoughts were that
It's
maybe like
creepy.
I kept thinking like, and I did have a conversation with Erica. Thank you. It was wonderful. We talked about could it have been a haunted object, like Annabelle or a haunted mirror, and I kind of don't think so. I think there was a spirit in them. She just couldn't see it. Maybe that spirit was enamored by her and was
Mm.
deciding that it was gonna check her out, or I don't know, walk past her apartment. The other thought I had was perhaps the spirit in the boots didn't know it was a spirit.
Mm. And
You know,
now
like
and then so she just heard the boots, right? Or did she see actual boots moving up the
she
stairs?
said she used to hear like boots, and then one night I waited by the stairs, and the boots stomped right past me, but no one was there.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
she
okay, okay.
sees them walking.
In the
Yeah.
actual stairwell that
Mhm.
she was standing in. That's yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
spooky.
she moved out a week later. I don't blame her.
But you
Yeah.
can feel that. Yeah, I don't blame her. Well, you can feel that though. Like if you've ever felt that kind of presence, in your, and that is a trip in your head when you feel somebody there, and you're actually like my arms
Oh
sticking up,
no, yeah, arm
really
hair
sticking up
sticking.
right now, like because I've
Yeah.
felt that before. Like when you're in that position and you get close to and I'll share
Mhm.
that story. When you get close to a spirit like that, when you walk into its proximity, like your
Mhm.
body reacts. And when you're with a flesh and blood person, your body reacts differently. But because it's a person, you're not it's a it's something your mind does. It's a trip that when there's nothing
Mhm.
there, it's like this dissonance that you're like, well, what the senses aren't jiving, and so like your body
Mhm.
reacts. So
So
yeah, I
you have
get
a
that.
story that's similar? Because I have something sort of similar, but do you have one? HG?
Sort okay. So we live kind of relatively hour and a half from Bisbee, Arizona. Bisbee is really it's a mining town. It's got lots of haunted
Mm.
hotels and stuff like that. Um, there's this place called Copper Queen, and I thought, oh, that'd be really cool to take a family trip, get in Halloween, and do like a haunted hotel room and just see what happens. And so my daughter was little at the time, and so we go on the walking tour for the ghost tour of the whole town. And there's a couple of weird stuff that happens in that on the tour. Like there's this place called the Allen House where uh, it used to be a brothel, and a bunch of people were murdered because a cowboy fell in love with one of the whores, and she was with somebody else, and he shot everybody. He
Mm.
just lost his mind and got drunk and killed like uh, I don't remember if it was 17 or 20, somewhere around there, people. Anyway, so I'm taking pictures outside of it, and I get that same amount of orbs outside of the. I didn't know the story yet of those that many people that had died. Like we got it afterwards, and I was looking at the pictures, and there's the exact amount of orbs outside of the Allen house in the
Oh my
front.
God.
Okay, that was weird. So
Yeah.
my daughter, there's this amphitheater area. My daughter says she sees a little girl walk through the amphitheater into the wall. I'm like, oh wow, okay, that's weird. Then we finally get back to the hotel room, and uh, my ex is in the bathroom, and I'm laying in bed. My daughter is already knocked out, and I hear like this kind of voice, and it's going from this ear to this ear. Like it's not going around my head; it's going through my
Mm-hmm.
head. Right? It's like one of those weird experiences when you're first listening to a good Pink Floyd album on really good headphones, where the sound is going, and but it was in my head, and it was clearly a woman's voice trying to talk,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm, I'm, I'm jerked awake by this point, and I look over at my daughter, and her hand is kind of like sitting off the side of the bed like this, and it was like somebody took a hand and went like that, like her hands just go like that,
Oh.
but it was almost as if somebody like moved her hand, and I'm like, oh. So my ex comes back to bed, and we're just kind of settling down, and she sits up. I was telling her about the voice and stuff, and she sits up and says, "Oh my God, there's a man right there." And like, there's the two beds, and I left our camera. This is before kind of good cell phone cameras, and I left our digital camera on the other side of the room, and she goes, "There's a man with a hat right over there." And I'm looking, I don't see anything. She goes, "Right there at kind of the end of the bed." And I'm like, "I don't see anything." She goes, "Go get the camera." And I'm like, "I don't see anything." She goes, "Go get the damn camera." I'm like, "Okay." So I walk over so the camera is on the other side of where she's saying this person is. And I have to walk through where he is to get the camera. And I stop dead in my tracks. And it was like somebody's hit me with a 9 volt. When you stick your tongue on a 9 volt
Mm-hmm.
battery, it's like, and I stopped. I was like, oh my God. I didn't see him, but I felt him like intensely.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh my God. And I look at it, I go, look. All my hair is like standing up. And she's like, "Get the damn camera." I'm like, "Oh
Mm-hmm.
shit." Yeah. So I go get the camera. By the time I get back, it's
Mm-hmm.
gone. And but um the next morning, we go up to the room. So we're staying just under the room that has most of I think her name was Julia Lloyd. And they have their own room for her above the room we were staying in.
oh,
And they say you could smell her perfume and stuff like this. So we go into that room, and I feel like I no don't hear that voice again, but I feel that presence of the woman again, and I can smell. We both smell it. It was like this musty rose perfume, and and you could smell. And I'm trying to smell the towels and everything just to see if it's on if somebody left it,
mhm.
in the bedroom, if it was on the textiles or whatever. And there was nothing, but you could clearly, when you left the room, you couldn't smell it. When you came back in the room, you could smell it.
Wow.
And in the at the front desk, there's a guest book where you can write your
Hmm.
experiences, and there's consistent. They heard voices of a woman. There was a musty smell of roses and
Mm,
like musty perfume and stuff like this. So yeah, it was a consistent thing. And people had said they saw a man with a hat.
Oh, wow.
I've had only a brief similar experience. I think I've told you guys before. When I first came to the apartment, well, the place that I live now, I was laying in my bed and I was asleep. My son was very little still, and someone whispered in my ear, but it felt like it was a male voice, and like you described, HG, it went through my head,
Oh,
like a
wow.
weird. So I can't even explain it. And
Hmm.
they were saying, "Get up." I'm like, "What the hell?"
It's hard to explain.
And I can never put it into words other than like how you said it. It feels like it's someone's disembodied voice went through your head. So very strange. That's that for me though. All right, let's do a quick
Wow.
other one. There's so many, so I might try to pick some really great ones. I might have to come back and do another ghost story adventure so people can have their fan stories. So this one is from, it's called Something Under the Bed by Kelsey J from Portland, Oregon. Thank you for watching, Kelsey.
Ooh.
So when I was a kid, I used to hear scratching under my bed. My parents thought it was mice until one night I felt
Mm.
something grab my ankle.
Oh,
I
hell no.
screamed. My dad came running, turned the lights on, and there were long red marks down my leg. We moved my bed that week, and the
Oh
scratching
no.
never followed. I will not be
What?
moving the bed. I will be moving the hell out of the house. Yeah, bye.
I wonder why it was over that spot versus when they moved it, it never happened again.
Well, you know, we're always talking about portals. Just
Oh,
saying,
so there might have been something
Yeah.
right there.
I was gonna say
maybe.
portal.
Maybe some kind of a spiritual portal. I don't know. I don't know. Very strange, though.
Wow.
Yeah. I wonder if Kelsey had any other stuff happen later
Mhm.
on in life
Yeah,
or anything
she.
like that. But that sounds like a very
Yeah.
specific
If you're
story.
Yeah.
watching, Kelsey, hit us up. Maybe you can come on and share some of your stories. So that'd be kind of cool. I'm assuming that there are other things that might have gone on. I can't imagine that would be the only one. So a lot of these came based on
Yeah, that's intense if it had
yeah,
marks.
a lot of these came based on a social media post that I had said share your scary stories. HG shared it. Some people saw it from your reshare. Some people saw it from me. So that's where these are coming from, and that's why they're quick and fast because I was like, send me quick little tidbits of your story. So they got the assignment. um, so here's another one.
Cool.
Where is it at? I'm gonna go and do this. This one is really close to home for me. This guy's about an hour away. Submitted by Julio R. from Fresno, California. That's not
Oh,
very far from me. The Mirror Whisper. My grandmother's mirror always gave me a weird feeling. One night after she passed, I looked into it and I swore I saw her standing behind me, even though I was alone.
oh,
A soft whisper said my name. Since then, the mirror fogs in the shape of handprints, even when the room is cold and dry. I don't know.
that's cool.
Grandma's
I
mirror.
wonder. I wonder if the
Mirrors
the
are
fog
portals,
the
man.
fog handprint. I was watching like a documentary, and these handprints would be on the wall though, and it was like a sticky type of oily handprint. So I wonder if it was just like a fog handprint or like if it was like kind of oily. And I guess that has to do with the ghost really trying from the other side to come through. But I would
Maybe.
assume a mirror would be way easier for them to go through versus like a wall would take a lot of energy for them to leave a handprint. But that's so
You
cool,
know,
and that he knew it was his grandma.
yep. I always wonder though. I always kind of like wonder that
Yeah.
maybe we're all freaking out because we see something like that, but the ghost is really just cracking up. Like, watch this, man. Let me scare him. Putting their hands on the mirror. Maybe. I don't know. I've never had anything like that.
Or just or just going, I'm trying to be nice to you. To stop being
Yeah.
scared.
Or like, don't wear that outfit. So you're looking in the mirror like, no,
Yeah,
don't leave
yeah.
the house like that.
Wash your
Right.
mirror more.
So it
Clean your bathroom
could be that
more.
depending on where they got the mirror from, could be something that was attached to it. I mean, like you got
Yeah,
the what are those called? Dybbuk boxes and then Annabelle dolls that spirits are
yeah,
attached to. So you never knew. I think a mirror would be easy for a spirit to attach itself because it's like a portal.
it is.
So yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go into a fan question real quick. Have you ever used a Ouija board or participated in a seance? What happened after? And that is by George. So
I
I
have many times, and things did linger. I was young. We were like 8, 9, and then again when I was 16, and we always did it in the computer room. And for sure, after that, there'd always be noises and weird little shit that would happen.
I
And I
remember
have done a kind of a seance recently.
I
So,
know that Gemini had a fun girl talk, girl night where we chatted on the phone one night, and she was telling me all of this stuff. I'm like, oh my god! Like, I like I told her, I've tried to play with Ouija boards, and they do nothing for me. The ghosts are like,
oh,
ha
so yeah,
ha.
I think you need definitely 2 or more people, and the planchette has always moved for me. And like I've done it with people who like were serious about the experience too, so they were like not moving, you know.
Weird. And you went to a séance recently.
When I was a,
Sorry, go ahead.
oh, recently?
Well, it was like a
No, no, no. I want to
channeling
hear the
session,
seance
you know,
story. That's better.
the I wouldn't call it was a
Oh,
channeling session, but they kind of marketed it as a seance. But
Do you feel comfortable sharing what was shared to you, or no? You don't have to. If
oh
you don't, it's okay. I
yeah,
thought it was so
I guess
fascinating what you were told.
I okay, so the psychic gave everyone a message, and from her guides, I guess. And so my message was that um, I have been this uh, young kid has been with me for a while, and that he's passed. And I was confused because no one around me young has passed. So I was like, "Are you sure? Like, or is it someone that's alive's higher self?" She was like, "No, he's pretty adamant that he is passed." And I was like, okay. And he was like, she said basically that he's around different soul pods with a similar life experience that he had. Because when he was, around our age, um, he passed away. He wasn't able, she said that he's really with me to try to help close some old doors that I have lingering open. And when he was alive, he didn't even look at these demons, and to even try to get out of a situation or a bad toxic situation. And he's with me to try to help close some of these doors. Because she said if I were to kind of walk back towards my old life, that it could be, a fork in the road for my soul to decide to exit this life. And so he's really trying to help me close those doors to, you know, move the hell on, basically. So I thought that was really cool. And usually when like I've been around this world a
mm,
while, usually, when you talk to um, ascended masters or other guides, they don't really like to give their name because they're all one, and they don't want you to get hooked on a name because it's not really that important. It's the message. But he was willing to share his name, and I thought that was really beautiful. It really helped me a lot, and I just want to say thank you to him.
It never works for me, but that is so cool. Like I don't even know if a seance would work. Maybe, but I thought that was such a cool story for you, though. cool
You gotta
situation.
calm down here.
Yeah, someday. I didn't. I changed my
Shameless plug.
name. I changed my name earlier in the year, and I was like, they're like, you should get a real ID. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. And then I realized you can't fly without one, so I gotta
Mm.
get one. Yep. I'm not driving that far. It's too far, too long. Uh,
True.
HG, you have any experiences with Ouija boards, seances?
Yeah, when I was a kid, uh, in Billings, we used to camp out in the backyard, and some buddies of mine, of course, his older sister had one, and they're like, "Yeah, let's do the Ouija board, man. Cool." So we did, and um, the spirit of Seth came to
What?
us. I mean, it was working hard. It had
Sounds
also
like it.
so his this guy's this guy. I wonder if David's still around. I haven't talked to him in a million years, but I'd be interested to see if David and Trey are still around. Billings. So one of them had an older sister who was pregnant, and we asked it what the sex was going to be,
Mm.
and it went to the son, and she
Oh,
ended up having a boy.
wow. That's
Um,
cool.
and uh, I don't remember much else other than we went back the next year. Like we all separated for the summer. Like I would come down to Arizona for the summers and then head back up for the school year. And then we tried it again later on, and uh, my buddy had accepted Christ that summer at church, had gone through the whole baptism and everything. And when we tried it again, it just went like you put your hands on it, it just went zoop. It
Wait,
wouldn't
I
do it. It
can't
was
see
like
you.
it was
What
almost
did
like
you do? You have to
uh
describe it to me.
so you put the hand, how
Uh,
you put your hands on the planchette,
uh-huh.
and it was almost like repulsive
Oh my
magnets.
God.
When you put two magnets together and they're like pushing
Yeah.
off, it it wouldn't do it again. It would like zip right off of the board every single time.
Wowzers.
And then David did it, I think, with another guy that wasn't there all the time, and uh, it said it wouldn't do it with us in the room or something like that.
Wow.
But
That's never
that's
a
it.
good sign.
That's my story with. I never tried a Ouija board
And for
after that.
anyone who's interested, you need to claim your power and say, I only want to speak to beings of love and light unless you do not care. But you can really guide your experience with the entities that you want because like that saying goes, right? When you stare into the abyss stares back. So you don't really know what you're going to be talking to, but you can command, direct, and instruct what you want to happen. And
I just want to have an experience though. Like, I'm like, hello, who wants to talk to Anne? And they're like, no, she's a dork.
well, I wouldn't say you don't experience stuff,
Oh, well,
but
yeah, but like with the oh, yeah, no, I definitely
Yeah, I was
experienced
going
it.
to say
Yeah.
you have
But with the
experiences.
Ouija board,
We
I'm
know
like
you have
sitting there like, come
experiences.
on, talk to me. And they're like, nope. Is it flies?
yeah, it's really
No.
never on our time when it
Mm,
comes to them.
right. So we have another one from Mike D in Maine. He's from Maine. The flashlight test is what he calls this. During
Oh, okay. The Magdalene?
during a
Oh yeah,
weekend ghost
cool.
hunt in an abandoned asylum, we tried the flashlight test, asking
Ooh.
spirits to turn it on and off. We set it on the floor, untouched. When we asked, "Are you here?" the light turned on. When we said, "Turn it off if you want us to leave," it flicked off instantly. We left. Yeah, I leave you with too. Yeah, all
Good
right,
move,
good one.
Mike.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. That was fun.
That's so funny.
Yeah. Um, let's
I
see.
love that though.
Oh, we've got one from New Orleans, submitted by
Ooh.
Jas. Jas? I don't know if I'm saying it right. It's JAS. My grandma died in 2010, but she used to love listening to jazz on an old radio. Years after she passed, I was cleaning out her attic when the radio came on, playing one of her favorite songs. The thing,
Oh,
the thing hadn't
Mm.
worked in years. I felt this wave of warmth and the smell of her perfume. I'd like to think she was saying hello. I think she
oh, what a
was.
beautiful experience.
Yeah, that is amazing.
She was.
Definitely she was saying
That's
hello to
neat.
you. No, mine just come to me in
Hmm.
dreams like, no, stop what you're doing. Don't do that. "Oh, okay, I got you guys. I hear you." That's where my grandparents come to me in my dreams. Um, I don't know. Have you guys ever had an
All
experience like
throughout my life, like when I'm like sleeping or when I'm in the in between about to fall asleep, it often feels like I get smacked in the face. Like something like I feel like a spirit comes and literally like fucking slaps the shit out of me.
that? Hmm,
That's a every time I say that story, everyone looks at me like I'm fucking crazy. So I'm like, I guess it's only me, but I don't know what the fuck they want or what
maybe.
they're trying to slap, what sense they're trying to
What do
slap
you
into
think?
me.
Who knows? So there's another one that's from an anonymous person. Um, the girl in the hallway submitted by an anonymous listener. When I was little, I would see a girl standing in the hallway outside my bedroom. Long black hair, white dress. My parents said I had a wild imagination until my mom saw her too. She described the same girl down to her dirty feet. We never found out who she was, but when we moved,
Mm.
she didn't follow.
Oh, wow.
Hmm. Yeah,
Ah.
definitely think like some places the spirits just stay for whatever reason. They don't understand or they don't want to move on. The spirit of a child, I would imagine they just don't understand, how to move forward.
Yeah.
And in New Orleans, it feels like it's in the land too. Like a lot of the
Mhm.
stuff here, um,
Yeah, like where you
um,
guys are.
in an old house that we had, there was a one of the houses that I lived in. My daughter would see an old
Mm.
Indian woman walk through the house every once in a while, and like it probably was a, this is all
Mm.
Indian land, you know, so of course then there would probably be some sort of residual things. And like New Orleans is all kind of on
Mm.
water. um Arizona, this is like all copper and quartz. Like there's quartz all in the sand, um everywhere here. So it makes sense that if crystals are those kind of stone tape
Mm.
theory idea,
Or like they're recording.
where it just there's residual hauntings,
Mm.
right? Exactly. Like there's residual hauntings because of this the stone tape theory of the that it just records the things that happen, and those things that just recurrently happen over and over again. Then I mean, it makes sense that that any place with a large mineral content, or it happens around water too, places that have a lot of water. And it's always interesting too that they say that spirits can't cross water, they can't.
Right. Mhm.
Or salt, you
Oh,
use
so
salt to
Or where did I read?
iron.
Red brick
create
dust.
barriers.
I heard that too. I don't think that's a New Orleans thing. I don't know. I read that somewhere. The dust from a red brick, like
Mm.
protection or
That I
something.
don't know about.
Mm,
I don't know.
interesting.
But I heard iron, like you could kind of trap a spirit in one room with iron,
Hmm.
like with the railroad ties or nails or whatever.
Oh yeah. Iron is a good
Mm.
That's why
iron
they
is a
have
good defense
iron
too.
around
Like,
a cemetery to help keep the ghosts in that area.
Hmm.
Is some of the lore
wrought iron
that I
gates.
heard.
Hmm,
So here's another one
interesting.
from Salt Lake City, Utah, from Myra
Ooh.
T. There's an abandoned church near my hometown. No congregation for at least 40 years. But some nights people hear the bell ring. One Halloween, we went to
Ooh.
check it out. At midnight, it rang once, twice. There was no
Um,
wind, no one was inside. When we looked up at the bell tower, we saw a shadow standing there watching us.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
That is
cool.
a good experience.
Yeah, creepy, creepy, creepy. Yeah, I
Oh, I love
wouldn't be
that shit.
sticking around that long. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. I haven't really had any major adventures in the world, so I've never been able to see something like that haunted. Have you guys?
Um,
I so I the other ghost uh hunt that I did was at the
Oh, I
Queen
remember
Mary.
you. I think you had talked to
Um,
us about that in another episode.
I think I
Yeah.
talked about that one time. Yeah. So um, it's crazy haunted. There are ghosts all over the place in
Mm,
that place. But I mean, it's in water and it's in iron. Like it's a steel hull with surrounded by water.
mm.
So if there's I don't know anything, there's
Oh,
stuff
I can
trapped in there.
imagine.
Like it, I don't know even how to explain. Like I saw, shadow people following other people. I saw. This was cool. So I had at one point a picture of it, but um, the person standing next to me in the tour was trying to take a picture of something, and you could hear somebody say, "I'm gonna knock that fucking thing right out of their hand," and
sounds like a
like
sailor, huh?
my I
Mm,
yeah, yeah, exactly. And I was holding a camera and it like I held it, but the person next to me, their camera went pshoosh,
Oh, it did.
like they dropped it.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
and I was like, whoa. But the I took a picture and there's a hanging sign where you can't walk past, because it's an engine room. And it was on two chains. And the when I took the picture, it was standing straight out. Like it's on chains just hanging like this. But when I took the picture, it was just like level. Like it had to have been held there because it wasn't blurry. It was just held there and then
Oh,
fell.
wow.
mm,
And let's see, there's stories about a child running around the pool, the pool that's in the hall. I didn't see that, but you could see something running around, like a kind of shadow figure running around the pool. And it didn't sound like a child to me, but you could hear voices in there for sure. And in the changing rooms, which is kind of a legendary thing a consistent thing that people say, um, my ex walks down the hallway of the changing rooms, and I could see her walking down like she's in silhouette against, where you can the light behind it. And she walks down, walks to the right, and I see her walk into it, and I see another person walk from left to right into the same room behind her, and she just zoop, nopes right out of there. She could tell, so she just noped right out of there and just bolted. She's like, "Something's in there."
mm.
Nope.
Crazy.
And
And then we went back to the room. And,
do you think, so you said you didn't really
go
sense
ahead.
a child around the pool. Do you think that it was like a little imp?
Uh, I I don't think they were children. They were like, I don't know if they
Like
feel
little
dark.
demons?
They feel like angry
Yeah.
spirits, like shadow. Yeah, yeah, kind of like demons. Um, so the crescendo to that story is we go back to the room. The rooms are really small, and there's a mirror at the end of. Bringing it back to mirrors. There's a mirror at the end of the bed
Mm,
that, like, they put mirrors in there to try and make them look bigger because it's really small rooms, right? And as the girls fall asleep and I'm sitting up, I'm like, how are you guys not falling asleep? How are you guys sleeping with this? And I sit up and I could see something kind of coming out of the mirror, and it was like tentacly. It was like shadows, but tentacly, like Venom. When Venom doesn't have a host and it doesn't look like a human, it's all tentacly,
Yeah.
and it's coming through the mirror like this, like it's like crawling out like this, and you could see the teeth,
What?
and I'm freaking the fuck out, right? And I'm calling on the
Mm.
angels, and instantly two golden people, men with staffs, standing at the end of the bed. And I feel like I'm about to have a freaking heart attack. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And one of them just puts his hand on my chest, and I'm instantly calmed. And he just says, "This is our job. Relax." I just fall asleep, relax, and they shove it back into the mirror. That's it. It was gone. They took off, and I fell asleep like that.
That is a cool experience too.
I woke up. I woke up the next morning. I'm telling my family this, and I'm like bawling. I'm like, and the ghost, and it was, and the angels, and because I'm like, oh my god, it's so emotional, right? But yeah, it's one of those things there where angels are real. You know, it's one of those experiences, and that's a gnosis for me. That
Mm.
I know from my experience that demonic forces are real, angelic
Did
forces
they
are
look
real,
androgynous
and
and beautiful, or
the
do they look manly?
Mhm.
yes,
Right.
Mm, wow.
both. They were strong and tall and gold and powerful.
Mm,
Um, it's hard to describe. Hang on, my dog is
Yeah.
freaking out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will. I'll
Okay.
be right back.
Go for it.
yeah.
Can you hear her? I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
mute
move
myself
on,
for a
and
second.
there's a specific question for Gemini. There's an email from a gentleman that it says his name is Adam, and he loves the show. He said, "I want to start out by asking a few questions individually for you."
Oh.
So he said, "Gemini, have you ever stayed somewhere that you felt was wrong, like the energy was wrong, and what happened?"
Mm. Did I ever stay somewhere where the energy wasn't wrong?
Like it felt wrong, like the vibe felt
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, I would say that I have. Um, but I don't really. Oh, well, I was a former addict, so um, hopping from hotel to motel, those places get really dark. And then, people are on different substances, and you can literally, especially with one substance in particular, like you can literally see the person change into someone else. And then everyone is in that area doing this. So, as far as paranormal, just experiencing that, like we had a dog, and like when this particular person would do this, even the dog and me would just stay away. We would like go to a corner, and then like it would be crazy. Like when this person would walk around the room, the dog would literally leave and just like do a full circle. So he just knew the energy was off itself. Like you could, if the guy who wasn't paying attention to the dog go over here, the dog went all the way over here. And I had never really seen that before, but yeah.
Gemini, first of all, thank you for sharing that because I know that's tough to say out loud. But if anyone comes after us for hate or is rude to my girl, I'm coming for you. um,
Yeah.
HG, her question specifically from a fan named Adam was if she'd ever been to a place where she felt the vibe was off or the energy was bad or, so that's okay. So the
Mm.
next question is for HG. What's the creepiest sound you've heard in the middle of the night? It's kind of a good one. Makes you think, huh?
Mhm.
Um, that is a good one. That's a really good one. I don't know. I think that woman's voice going through my head.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've heard voices in another house that were like conversations, but it was like light conversation where you couldn't place where it came from. Like, um, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, you'd hear voices, um, but it wasn't anything solid, you
Have
know.
you ever heard your name being yelled out like in the middle of the night?
But I don't. Oh
I've
yeah,
read.
yeah, yeah. Like even
Mhm, I've
when you're
heard that
asleep,
too, and
and
I've
you're like,
read that it's like it's not really someone; it's like a demon or something. I don't know if that's true, but I read a lot, so
mm-hmm.
um, I don't know.
the and it could be one of those things like, have you ever heard those booms? Like when you're falling asleep and you hear it sounds like a boom, like you're the only one that hears it, and it
I've
jerks you
heard
awake.
like
And
knocking on
it's
the door.
something inside your
Yeah, I've
head
even
that's.
heard somebody like knocking on the door, and there's nobody really there. So weird.
I used to have the booms
Mm-hmm.
and it would be right in that thing where you're just about to fall asleep, and it would jerk you awake like that.
Mm,
But I would say that a woman's voice going through
yeah,
your head was
definitely the
probably the
creepy.
creepiest. So thank you. Who
This is
who was that
Adam.
asked?
He didn't say what his location is, but he had three
All
questions,
right.
one for each of us, and he's asking me, and do you have a local urban legend or ghost story in your area? And actually, I do. Um, my
Ooh.
my actual high school that I went to is this majestic auditorium. It's beautiful. It was built like probably in the 40s and 50s, and so it's very much like the Hollywood esque kind of
Oh, okay.
auditorium. Red
Yeah.
velvet everywhere. Well, the rumor or the urban legend is that in the 50s, a young guy got beat up there. He thought he was a nerd. They beat him up and he died. So they say he haunts the rafters of the
Mm,
stage and stuff. So I was very terrified to go in the backstage area of the stage alone. Like literally think of a 1950s stage. It's like beautiful like that. But I was very terrified to go back there alone. I don't know. I felt like the energy was off there. So maybe that urban legend is true. I've never really looked into it, but maybe it's true.
mm.
Didn't really want to give my location away, so I don't do too many local stories. But um,
Interesting,
yeah,
though.
I think most theaters are
I
haunted
agree.
though. Like especially stage
Mm,
theaters, they're definitely a
mm,
thing. I mean, uh, there's a tradition of superstitions behind stage and theater, of not saying the what is it, the British play, is that what they call it?
mm.
You can't say
Oh
Macbeth
yeah, yeah, yeah.
in a theater. So, or you have to go out and do like a go
Oh,
outside
I
and
I
do a
had never
Mm,
turn
heard
or
that. I didn't know
whatever
that.
I've
and
heard
break the
that.
curse. Yeah, it's a curse, and it's going to ruin the
Oh my
play
gosh.
if you say the word Macbeth in the
Mm.
theater.
HG,
And so they kick you out and go do the thing. And
HG is your dog okay? I was a little worried.
oh yeah, she's fine. There a deer eat the tomatoes last night, so she
Oh,
was
funny.
flipping out and chasing all the javelinas and the deer off. So I put her
That's
inside. She's
funny.
fine now. Thanks.
She's doing her
My
job.
my dog just eats
Yep.
the tomatoes himself. We don't have to worry about that. He's all take care of it.
He's the culprit.
Yeah. So we have another one from Helen. She's from Seattle, Washington, and she says, "Hello, all. I love the show. I love when you guys get on here and have a discussion. Um,
Mm.
I run a small bed and breakfast here in Seattle. Maybe the three of you would love to join me and
Oh,
for
we're
some
there,
housekeeping."
baby.
Hell yeah! I was like, "We'll talk to you soon, Helen." Okay. She said, but anyway, one morning I guest asked who else was staying in room 4 because he had heard
Mm.
some whispering all night long. The thing is, room 4 was empty. I checked the guest book later that day. One last page, someone had written, "I'm still here." but there was no name and no date. So
Oh,
she said,
oh,
perhaps the
Whoa.
three of you would love to come stay in room four. Hell yeah.
oh
But
yeah.
guarantee
Yep.
they're probably going to run away because they don't like to show themselves to me too often, except when
I
I
want to
least
get the
expect
hell out of this heat. I am ready to
it.
go to the
Seattle could
house.
be fun. Maybe we have to work on that. But yes, Helen, we accept. We are there. We are not paranormal
Wow.
investigators, so we don't have equipment or anything, but we
Oh,
come
I do.
armed
Yes, we
with,
do.
okay,
Oh,
but
we do.
we're not really
Hmm.
paranormal investigators, so we'll come armed with cell phones and whatever Gemini has. So, um, but yeah, no, I mean, I think it'd be fun to just kind of document whatever we see or find there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually going to do one this weekend,
Oh, really? What are you gonna do?
right?
Yeah.
This weekend? Is it this weekend? Yeah.
We're going to an antique mall in Tucson that has been known to be haunted, and so we're gonna go do some investigations out there, out that way.
But you're with a group though, right? You guys jumped in with a group.
Yeah, me and Gordon, we're gonna help lead this and kind of like show people who are interested on how to do the vibes, and we have a psychic with us too, and so yeah,
Cool.
it'll be
Well,
exciting.
you'll have to share your findings with us.
Yes, we will.
So, this last one here. Um, Jay from Denver, Colorado named this the basement warning. I was house sitting for friends and had to go into their basement to reset the breaker. As I got to the bottom, I heard a voice whisper, "Don't go down there." I froze. There was no one else in the house. I left the lights off and waited until morning. Later, they told me a previous tenant had died in the basement.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I can't
Creepy.
believe you like that's such a hard place to be in to like be in a house with no electricity. That already happened, but then you hear a voice that says don't go down there. It's like, well fuck, I need to do the lights, but
Mhm.
he
Yeah.
didn't. Wow,
Mhm.
that's crazy.
I would be out of that house. That I'm done. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not really that afraid, but I guess I wouldn't probably want to stay in unknown area. I don't know.
If I was by myself, yeah, I probably wouldn't, but like when I'm outside by myself, I'm like scared and nervous, but like when me and Gordon are out there, I'm like I'm ready to experience anything
Mm,
that comes our way, really, you know?
well, that's cool. I don't know.
It helps when there's another person
Mm,
that's
yeah,
not scared.
I've never been.
I don't know. You were out there. You were out there with a rattlesnake that was coiled up and hissing at you. So, and you didn't even flinch.
No, I do love my snakes.
Yeah, I think I need a local bestie. I think we should take applications for Anne's local best friend to do crazy shit with. My husband's too tired. He's got a crazy job, and I know he'd love to, but it's just too much for him. So I think we need to take like applications. Somebody that's willing to go with me on adventures. You might have to let me lean on you because I have a spine issue, but you know,
Hmm. I'm sure you'll be getting
Sturdy
applications
friend.
soon.
I doubt it. Probably crazy people. Um, but that's cool. You guys get to
Crazy
go.
isn't always bad though.
Oh, in this area, it is literally 100%. You know, um, first of all, it's California. Second of all, it's Central California, so it's really, really bad. Anyway,
Yeah,
so any other ghost stories that you guys have?
Oh,
ghost
I do
story.
have one. I do have one of. So my the first time I encountered a spirit was my great grandmother. Um, I think it was maybe between my junior high and freshman year of high school, and she had just passed away, and she had come and told me she was fine. Like I was all busted up, and upset about it. And I heard her voice in her little Okie accent. She told me she was fine. Oh, Gordy, I'm just fine. I'm just fine. And so that was the first time I was like, oh, like, It was very soothing to me. Like
Mm.
a lot of ghost stories are not scary to me because of that being my first experience, you know. Um, but when my daughter was little, my stepdad had just passed away, and she had gotten, this is maybe a few months after he had died of a brain aneurysm, and she was very sick, and she was having a fever, and she was just laying on the couch, and she's was just so hot from this fever, and she said out loud, "Oh, I'm so hot." And the ceiling fan automatically turns on.
Aw.
And she said something like, "Oh, thank you, Granddad," and then went back to sleep.
Wow.
Oh,
And the
wow.
ceiling fan had never turned on before by itself, not before or after. Never had any issues with that thing. But whatever she was experiencing at that moment, she had associated it with my stepdad, and he cooled her off.
Mm,
Aw.
that's cool.
I love that.
He's still there, yeah. That's cool. Well, I want to say thank you to all the fans that jumped in there with all the fun stories. There was at least more than 10 there, I think.
Yeah,
Thanks for seeing the bat signal and jumping in because I literally posted it, I think, on Instagram, TikTok, and HG shared it, and then they started coming in. So kind of cool. So fun to,
very
Thank you
cool. Yeah,
guys.
thank you
It was
guys.
fun. I love hearing your guys' stories. It's cool to hear other people's real experiences and not just see it on TV or whatever, you know.
if you're wanting to come on the show, you can go over to YouTube and there's two tiers. You can join membership. It's like 99 cents a month. And then it's the only way to screen out the crazies. I can't have crazy people on here. Like, it would be all bad. So, join in one of those tiers, and there's an option where you pay the 99 cents, you get some membership perks, and you'll get a time and date where you could jump on with us and tell us your crazy stories. So, but yeah. Um, in the meantime, go get our Tumblr. Tumblr.
Meantime,
Yes.
eh, 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 double insulated, so that's cool.
Yes. Yes. Yours came out really vibrant. I like that.
Yeah, I did. You might have to put it on the
Evil.
shop too if people like alien
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, for now, you were the first one to have it, so
I'm the only one right now. Sorry, guys.
maybe I'll put it in the shop. Now that she's flaunted it, I'll put it in the shop.
Yeah,
No, no, the T-shirts that they have, you'll never get those. Those are just for them. No one
just
else will
your
ever get
upload,
those.
guys.
Yes, those are only yours. No one else will get those shirts. That design is exclusive to the
Yep.
team. Oh wait, show us the back of it, HG. Yep, there you go. Exploratory outreach team. So unexplained realms. So that's exclusive to them. I have to give them that. So send you guys like some stickers and stuff like that you can give out and keep for yourself. So you can go stick them on things. I don't know, stick them on a stop sign.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
um, yeah, someone emailed me saying that they saw a sticker on a gas pump in San Francisco, and I was like, "That was me. I did that.
Oh, cool.
I did." I was like, I don't think anybody else is putting stickers on gas pumps, so it totally was me because I did that
Look
like
at your
a year
guerrilla
ago.
advertising working.
Mm. I was like looking at
Street
it
team.
pumping gas outside of San Francisco, and I was like, "Wow, there's a lot of stickers on here." Wait, I got one in my car. Popped right on there. So yeah,
That's a good
Yeah, that's a
idea.
good
yeah,
idea, actually.
hmm yeah. I'm gonna make some with QR codes so that people standing there seeing the sticker can just pull
Oh,
the
that's a
phone
good
out
idea.
and take it to the website. So be cool. So I don't know. How do we want to wrap this up? It's been over an hour anyway.
Do you have any shows coming up that
I
you're
am
working
working
on?
on the next episode is going to be about the Kraken. And
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
yeah. So that'll be fun. We can jump on and talk about that one if you want. My research is funny. Like it talks about it being something the Norse people believed in as well. The kraken, the giant sea monster. So,
Very
Mhm.
interesting. I'm
Not
excited
just the
to hear that
Greeks.
episode, especially with like all the real
Very cool.
investigations and research that you put into every episode.
mhm. Let me see if I
It'll be
can.
exciting to hear and see what you find.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I want to categorize it. If it's under Norse, or if it's. I think right now I've got it under cryptid, but I don't know if that's really where. What do you guys think?
It belongs. Mm.
I don't know if it belongs
Yeah,
there.
I think cryptids. It's a critter,
Yeah,
right? Did we put the Thunderbird episode as
we
cryptids,
did.
or how
Yeah,
did we
yeah, it
categorize
was
that?
cryptid. I couldn't
Yeah,
figure out how. I mean, it's folklore, myth, urban legend, but I thought cryptid would be. I don't know. So I think I have the show. Where's that? The actual cover for the show already. Let me see. I can get it to load. There you go. That's the show cover for when it drops.
That
I was.
looks nice.
oh,
It's
cool.
crazy how there's so many stories of these. I can't even pronounce that half the time. Cephalopod. I don't know, but yeah,
Cephalopod.
they would just grab these ships like this and throw them around. So many images depicting that,
Mm-hmm.
and like right now in the research, I'm at the point where it's a thought that could it have been just an urban legend to scare the men on the ship into doing their job or doing things the right way, or was there really a giant monster out there? So yeah, that's
Cephalopods are scary. I mean, they have 9 brains.
mm-hmm.
Like each tentacle of an octopus has its own brain and own sensory system that's connected to its central brain. They're the weirdest thing, and they have perfect camouflage. Like cuttlefish have chromatophores, which can and octopuses that can change their color. They can themselves look like a rock. They can. They've had cuttlefish can mimic a black and white tile floor if they're put on, or polka dots if they're put on a tile floor. Like, it's the craziest thing. And they do like all the sorts of rainbow colors and like waves to attract a mate, and they're brilliant. They can open jars, and
If
it's
I ever have
scary
to be
how cool
reincarnated
they are.
again, if I have to come back to the earth, I want to be a giant monstrous octopus. Or that's what I want to be. If I
Yeah,
have to be
I can get that.
reincarnated, that's what I want to come
They're
back as.
cool.
Um, yeah, though there's some really wild ones like displays in San Francisco. I don't know if it's the San Francisco Exploratorium or one of the museums, but there are. If I can find some pictures that I have from it, I'll have to share them. But you can see in these displays, these creatures are no longer living. Some of them are, some of them are not. They're just displayed in these tanks. But some of the creatures they've taken from the bottom of the San Francisco Ocean, they're wild. So creepy
Oh
alien
yeah.
like looking things. So yeah, and that's a really cold ocean area right there because it's just cold in that area. So creepy stuff.
And I have read like a couple of alien books. And Gordon, like when reading about like the different like alien races and stuff, there is one that like has like the body of us, but their face is like tentacly and like an octopus.
Hmm.
So it's like I wonder like what race would want to be that, like that's crazy to think like,
Like the
I want to be. I
oh,
would.
there you go.
like the
That's a European
Colombians.
for
That
it.
Like I want
Admiral
9 brains.
Admiral Akbar was a squid head guy.
Yeah.
Admiral Akbar from Star Wars
Oh,
was
Mm-hmm.
a squid
right,
head.
right.
Um, Also, the aliens from Galaxy Quest were like
Mm-hmm.
squid
Mm.
people.
Yep. Yep.
So they definitely have alien connections.
Mm,
Galactic,
I
Mm-hmm.
think so. I wonder. I think so.
galactic connection.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that one. Should come out in the next week or so. I have a heavy weighted weekend, so I'm not going to be too much around after this. But I have I'm marrying off one of them. Still got two more to go.
Well, congrats. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
congratulations.
already wild, just surreal. Like it's just days away now. So it's I spent the morning with both my
Are you gonna
daughters,
s-
and it's like stop crying. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys.
are you gonna set out extra placements for the deceased family members like they
Um,
do sometimes in
we,
some families at the
most of
reception?
our family members, like my grandparents who passed, it was years ago. So it's kind of like it's not like they were recent. I don't know. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 250 people wedding, so
Wow.
I know.
Ooh,
It's
big.
funny though. My side of the family,
Oof.
there's less than 20, so
Oh, so it's his
it's his.
side.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
his.
wow.
We're
Wow.
very small. Most of our like my grandparents have all passed, so it's just my parents left. There's
Yeah.
just not a lot of us. So, but yeah, they're a big family. Um, some cool Mexican traditions that'll occur that we get to join in, and um, the rehearsal is tomorrow. And after the rehearsal, we'll be joining them at a family member's house for a meal and a prayer session. I've never seen anything like that done the night before the wedding. So it'll be like this very large group prayer session for the bride and groom. So interesting. Um,
Cool.
yeah, they come from
Neat.
deeper roots into Mexico. Like, so their culture is just a little different than my family, just slightly. So, interesting stuff though. So,
Cool.
should we,
I'm sure you have lots of
Very
fun.
cool.
and you guys have fun on your ghost hunting stuff this weekend, right?
Oh, yeah. We have a jam-packed
Yep.
weekend of a whole bunch of metaphysical cool shit. So I'll have
Cool.
to let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Yep. Take
Tons of
pictures.
stuff.
Mhm. Again, anybody want to be my bestie so we could do stuff like that here? So, I'm just saying. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess it's been fun.
Don't be afraid of the ghosts.
Yeah, don't be afraid of the ghosts. Buy a tumbler. No.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody think.
For good luck.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Night.